Picking pictures has always been the most challenging part of photography for me. It's always hard for me to pick one picture or few out of thousands or hundreds of pictures. When the picture piles up, for me, it loses part of the meanings behind them. You know, everybody has seen Mona Lisa somewhere, but it is indeed different when you actually see it in person. Digital photography often gives you the same feeling as looking at Mona Lisa on a webpage. It feels some meaning has lost. This draws back to a media theory I learned in college, which is actually an essay called The Work of Art in the Age of Mechanical Reproduction by Walter Benjamin. If you're interested, it's a very quick read. I think he addressed quite the problem of modern digital cameras. Photos came with no effort and no weight. This is not to take a shot at anybody, I'm talking about why I don't like my own picture and how I prefer them. So today's camera, probably in all of the modern camera that does the best at keeping some of that meaning and time-lasting factor into our digital world, Leica M11. First thing first, it is expensive. It's very expensive, so whatever you hear next, please keep its price in mind. With that being said, this camera hands down the best digital photography experience plus the end result comparing to all other cameras I have used. And I think the most important recipe is that time-lasting factor and keeping some of those meanings I mentioned before within its images. Yes, in technical term, it can be simplified to high contrast and high saturation. Yes, you can imitate the Leica look quite easily in post. It's nothing special. However, it does feel special. It feels like a picture I'll put in my diary or autobiography even years later. It feels good to print and to keep. You might want to say, yeah, of course Leica is good at street photography and documentary style. Yeah, I'm aware of that too. So I also took it for some portraits, where arguably is where the modern cameras really shines. My findings? Again, that time-lasting factor still remains. It didn't produce the most appealing image. During the shoot, I got so lost I had to take out my Sony just to remind myself what it usually looks like in these shoots. However, at the end of the day, when you take a look at these images, that I'll put it in my autobiography energy is still right there. By the way, all the pictures I have shown here and before, I have done zero post-production other than just increase the exposure and adjusting the color temp. It feels a bit unfair to other cameras consider its price. However, I came to understand why people buy such an expensive camera. It does provide me with another fresh experience of photography, where it's kinda in between film and digital. It's not as demanding as Hasselblad, but also not as casual as Sony or other consumer cameras. It's probably not versatile, but it's quite serious, which means you have to fully put your mind into it to get a decent result. Overall, of all the digital cameras, even consider the price difference, this is probably still the best and special camera I have ever used. If you like my video, consider leave a like or subscribe. It helps me get more stuff from manufacturer so we can test out some of your favorite gear.